I'm John, and this is my beautiful first mate Jody. Crazy little Willow, and let's not forget Buddy the Butterball. And together we've had some amazing adventures. Join us as we make new memories, prepare for new travels, and build a new life on Liberty. Hey everybody, welcome back to Life on Liberty. Hopefully you enjoyed the last episode where we did the walkthrough of the boat. This week we're going to fix a little problem that we found the other day when we were washing the bedding in the front V-berth. For some reason or another, I guess years of the boat being used, it looks like the front chain locker, actually the drain kind of got stopped up in it with some mud and just gunk from years of use. And it's been really cold outside, so we've had some sweating issues like everybody would on a boat. Where the cold temperatures are outside, and obviously it's 68 to 70 degrees inside, so you get some moisture problems. There's really nothing you can do about that. But one of the things we found was that up in the V-berth where the chain locker is, apparently the sweating that was taking up place there was actually running out the bottom of the bulkhead and getting the bedding wet up there in the front bed. So that's something we can't have. So upon inspection, we pulled out all the chain and noticed that the front was just full of gunk and things of that nature. So me being kind of a proactive type person, I started pulling things apart and took a vacuum cleaner and sucked out the gunk and everything, and then realized, hey, I should probably make a video and let you guys see, just what kind of situation that we had and what we could actually maybe do to try to fix it. So I've already kind of pulled the bed back and opened up the chain locker and things of that nature, and you can kind of see the progress that I've made coming up, and I'm going to walk you through the rest of the repair and things of that nature. So I hope you enjoy this. Again, my apologies for kind of starting the video in the middle of it, but we found the problem kind of late in the afternoon, almost into night, and I couldn't have slept without pulling it apart and seeing what's actually wrong with it. That's just not the person that I am. So anyway, I'm gonna take you into the V-berth now and kind of show you what's going on, talk to you about what I've already done, and show you the finished product when I get done with the repair. And hopefully what I'm doing is going to work, and we'll just find that out in time, I guess. So one of the very first things that we had to do in order to fix this problem was to go ahead and pull out all 300 foot of chain road that Liberty has on board. So we'll have fun putting that up here in just a little while. So let's walk down here in the front and take a look at what we've got going on. There's the headboard right there for the V-berth. It just kind of fits up in place over this hole right here that's up in the front bulkhead, and that's where the chain locker is for all of the chain for the anchor itself. So the first thought I had on this project was to pull all the chain out and actually go ahead and lay some glass or some resin in down there at the bottom to kind of seal that bulkhead. But I started thinking about it, and I figured the engineers of the boat, when they originally made it, probably built it this way so that it would allow some flex or some movement up here in the front, especially maybe in some rougher waters or even when it's pulled out on a travel lift. So what I decided to do was to use the expandable foam. I went with a foam that was specifically designed to be used around windows and doors. So although it is a foam, it allows for some flexing and some movement if needed in the future. So I didn't want to, you know, make it so rigid that ultimately you find the next weakest link. However, I did want to kind of seal it up and make sure that the bed doesn't get wet if this happens again in the future. Okay, so here we are up in the V-berth, and you can see the foam that's already been put into place to try to seal it up. So for the very last part of this repair, I'm going to use a product that I'm sure a lot of people probably don't like, but we've had really good luck out of this product, or this brand of products, for very light duty tasks, kind of like what I'm doing here, and that is Flex Seal in a can. It's a rubberized coating. It's going to allow it to flex. It's going to allow it to move, because basically it's just spray on rubber. And so what I'm going to do is to go ahead and just spray a little bit of this on, just a little bit, along the seam that I just put the foam on, just to make sure that if there is any gaps that got left, or if I didn't do a real good job on the foam, then you know, this will hopefully take care of that. And I'm going to go ahead and spray a light coating on the back of the bulkhead wall there, because I noticed inside it's not finished. It's just marine grade plywood, and you know, obviously that locker right there holds a lot of chain. That chain's been in the water, and then when we pull it up, we're obviously rinsing it off with a water hose to you know, get any debris or mud or salt residue, if we're in the ocean or whatever, off of the chain before we put it down in the locker. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and spray a light coating on the back of that, just to help protect that wooden bulkhead from the elements itself. I left the center open down there for the drain to be able to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Flex Seal, and we're going to come up in here, and we're just going to take and just put a level of it down, just to seal over what we've done. So I'm going to get that finished up, and I'll be back in a minute to show you the completed project. All right, so here we are. We're back up here in the V-berth. We've let the Flex Seal set for about 30-45 minutes. It's obviously not cured, but it's good enough to get back in here, and it's ventilated itself out enough for me to not have a respirator on, and I can be back up in here talking. So first off, if you look inside the crack right here, you can see, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but you can see that we do have the foam that has come through. So that's sealed up now. Before I put the Flex Seal down, I ran the light up and down both sides and made sure that we had the foam there, and along the bottom, made sure that everything was sealed up there, so that we didn't have you know, any water intrusion in the future. And as I stated earlier, that I was going to go ahead and cover the bulkhead. Obviously I didn't spray the whole bulkhead down, but I just wanted to take a moment to make sure that I got it on the areas that the chain, if it was wet and laying against the wood, that maybe it gave it just a extra layer of protection there. So if you come in here, you can see that I've laid that down all the way up, about 3/4 of the way up on both sides. And again, that was probably an unnecessary step. I'm sure that the foam itself was going to achieve the desired desired results, but you know, I just figured, why not just go ahead and put an extra layer on it and add a little bit of protection to the wood bulkhead itself. All right, so as far as I'm concerned, that project's completed, at least for now, until we can test it out and just see overall how it's going, or how it works. You know, I think I'm going to give it probably 24 to 48 hours for the Flex Seal and the foam to fully cure before I even consider putting the chain back on board. At this moment, we're at the dock, so it's not really that big a deal. We don't necessarily need it. Obviously, I got to put the entire V-berth back together, but again, I'm going to let some time go by to let everything cure out, so that we know you know, we don't cause any problems with the repair with me trying to put things together too quickly. So I guess what comes next? There are some projects, I guess you would say, that I do need to do that I wasn't really looking forward to doing right now, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do that while the anchor's out. So the next project that I'm going to do, and I'm going to share with you guys coming up over the next several days, maybe even the first of next week, is that we're going to go ahead and pull some of the cleats off the front, and we're going to remove some of the bolts that are holding the windlass down, and some of the things holding like the chain guide down and things like that up there. And we're going to rebed those things. That should be done every several years, just to make sure that you're not having any core rot or anything like that happening. And as of right now, I'm not seeing any evidence of that. I don't have any soft spots up there. But upon inspection, you know, it's kind of like everything. When you really look at things and how they're built, or how other people have done things before you got there, you can easily see if they cut any corners or things of that nature. And you know, this is a Silverton. It's a production boat, and with that being said, you know, there's things that could be done differently to make sure that you don't have problems in the future. So we're going to remove all of the stuff up there, probably not the windlass, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, rebed the bolts and things of that nature to make sure that we don't have any issues there. But we're going to remove the cleats, we're going to remove the chain guides, we're going to remove those things up there. We're going to coat the inside of the holes with resin, to make sure that if there is any water intrusion at any point in time, that it can't get to the core. Silverton did a really good job of building this boat. 90% or so of the deck is actually foam cored, from what I can tell. But the areas that, you know, are stress or high load areas, obviously they used a marine grade plywood and a core in those areas. And one of the things you don't want is water intrusion through a leaking bolt or fastener over several years, because then what you end up with is a rotted core or bad marine plywood that is underneath fiberglass, and that's just not a good repair to have to do, and definitely not something easy. I'm sure at some point in time we'll probably get into that on this channel, on maybe even on this boat or on another boat, but for the time being, we're going to try to preemptively make sure that we don't have to do that. So while the chain is out, while the 300 foot of chain is laying on the dock, we're going to go ahead and take a few moments and pull some bolts out, put some resin on some things, and a little bit of butyl tape, and rebed that type of stuff down. So that's going to be something that, you know, if you haven't seen that process before, you may enjoy that, or you know, if you just know that it's kind of coming up in the future and you want to know what you're getting into on your boat, then this will be something you'll get to see. So check back with us here in the next few days for that. But as far as this project's concerned, I guess we're done, and I hope you enjoyed it. Last but not least, if you did enjoy this video, if you got anything out of it at all, just please hit the like button and share it out with your friends. Obviously, we're kind of new to this, and we're going to get better as we go. But I hope that we're making some content that are going to be both beneficial for you as far as expanding your knowledge of general mechanical things and just life every day on a boat itself, all the way up to the adventures that we're going to be taking in the future. And each one of those likes and each one of those shares really adds up to help us in what we're trying to do. So we just want to tell you thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming along with us. And thank you for inviting other people to get on board and come with us as well.